We all have stuck with, okay, become an engineer or scientist, done. No, there's so many new things that are coming up. Parents, when I thought I should do aerospace engineering, many said it's for boys. You can't do it. Today, farmers know which crop they can grow at a particular area. It's because of space technology again. We are not getting that support that's required from investors. In fact, they're like, "Yay, education, what is there?" Last financial year, that's 2023 itself, we had crossed 1 crore. And this financial year, we've reached almost November, so I'm guessing the number is around
Going
20.
high.
They're so special. Again, this is something which makes me so curious about space, is because we are the only species who have come so far.
Yelrigu Namaskara. Welcome to Real Celebrity Podcast, powered by C. Krishna Chetty Group of Jewelers. Real Celebrity Podcast is the stories of extraordinary women who made it. And today's episode is very, very special because I am very excited and curious to learn so much about space. Today we have Nikitha C. Nikitha C is a young entrepreneur, an aerospace engineer, and the founder of SSERD, Society for Space Education, Research and Development. She's also an entrepreneur, the managing director of Genex. And today we're going to talk so much about space and how you can start your career with the field of space. So let's welcome Nikitha to the show. Hi, Nikitha.
Hello, Spoorthi. Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm good, amazing. Thank you.
And when we talk about space, usually, if I'm saying that I'm going to be speaking about space, everybody's expectation would be someone really, above 40, about 50, about 60 to speak about space. But we have this young girl in her 20s speaking about space and done so much extraordinary work in this field. Thank you so much for being a part of Real Celebrity Podcast. I definitely ouch this word. You guys are the real celebrities of this country. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for those kind words, Spoorthi.
Right. So Nikitha, let's start with what you're doing today, and then we go back a little bit about where it all started, and then we'll also speak about how someone can start their career in this field.
Right.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's start. Welcome to Real Celebrities' brand new episode. So Nikitha, SSERD, Society for Space Education, Research and Development. What is this all about?
SSERD, it's an NGO actually, which I started back in, when I was a student while doing aerospace engineer. Reason being, many of my friends who were studying aerospace engineering had no idea what is that they were going to study. Right? Today, if you ask what is space, everyone would say stars and planets. And in fact, that's what students want to learn. And now when you go look for engineering or courses, mostly everyone will pick engineering. And engineering, you only have aerospace or aeronautical, where what you learn is about aeroplanes, rockets and satellites. So you saw where you started with and where you ended with. That's not something that anyone would want to get into, a wrong career. Right. With that experience I had of my friends, juniors and seniors, all I thought was to create awareness about space, to tell everyone what is space, what are the different domains that are there in the space, and how can one enter into any of these domains and pursue their career, right? What are the steps that you need to take? Really? So this is something that we were doing under SSERD, and today we are focusing on students from rural India, the government schools, because I somehow felt these are the students who are not led to even think about it.
Absolutely. There's no accessibility at all. Yeah.
I mean, we all don't know that we are using space technology in our day-to-day life. And in fact, these are the places where students or say people would be using more.
Correct.
And if they don't know about it, it really doesn't make sense. So right now we're focusing on reaching out to those students in that area. In fact, we have a lot of corporates who are coming and supporting and funding it.
Amazing.
So we kind of go and look for those interested students to learn about space in regions like Mandya, Chikmagalur, right? And these are the places
I think
where no
it
one
can create
think.
miracles. Someone from tier 2, tier 3
Yes.
cities learning about space, and if they achieve something, their level of commitment and the curiosity is to a
Exactly.
different extent, and I think they can create wonders in this space.
That's what the fact, like you said, that they are very curious, and if they stick on to something, they would want to pursue it.
Yes.
And that perseverance helps them to achieve. We have seen today everyone who is in the higher positions literally come from such humble background.
Yes.
Right?
Totally agree with you on this.
We want more such people to come in when you compare to those who are in studying in IITs and then they fly away after studying and not contributing back to India. So I think these are the people who will be left to serve the nation, I personally feel.
Amazing. So SSERD, Society for Space Education, Research and Development, is into educating rural people or underprivileged for space, and then you're also into other things. What all are the other areas that you focus on?
Yeah, so one is the rural students
education,
which we work with.
Yeah.
Another interesting project that I've been working on is Girls in Space.
Wow.
Like being a co-founder and doing all these educational programs. So every time we do these programs, there are like very less number of girls. Sometimes I've seen there's no girls at all, and it kind of feels so bad at sometimes, and it's like, okay, what is happening? And I did like research and understood what was the problem, and I came up with a solution of this, starting this program and calling it Girls in Space, which will bring out all those girls away from all those barriers that they would have created. Most importantly, the parents, right? Parents, when I thought I should do aerospace engineering, many said it's for boys. You can't do it, like it's not for girls. And I did it, and I've seen so many people doing it now, and I've done even before me. So parents have this notion that this is not for girls, and I had to make them involve in the programs to understand that it's open for everyone. So today I see not just doing this program, but bringing in more women speakers, giving them an example of role models, right? Like, see, you like to become so and so, there is already someone who has done this.
Yes, absolutely.
So showing a role model was one of the important things which we did it. Trying to give scholarship to students, girls students specifically, which again brought more girls. So today we've seen that we will have more girls in front of the boys.
Can we
right?
speak about numbers? How many girls have been trained through SSERD so far?
Girls alone, I could say we've had more than 10,000
amazing
programs.
Okay.
10,000 girls, I could say. But otherwise, overall, we've had we've taught about space for students around like 80,000 and above.
80,000 and 10,000.
Yeah.
That's not something I'm happy about.
We are working towards making it more, and we want to make it more.
I think I'm sure you are taking that step, because if there was nothing called Girls in Space in your own organization, I think that numbers would have been much lesser. Yes. That's actually sad, Nikita. I mean, when you look at people, 80,000 students, and then there are just 10,000 girls in it. I think still it is such a happy thing to be cherished about, right?
Yes.
So there's education for underprivileged and tier 2, tier 3 cities, rural areas, and there is girls in space education. What else is SSERD doing?
These two are the major things that we are focusing on. And other than that, one of the programs that we've been focusing on, I personally being in touch with all the space companies and startups that are there, and the trend is changing. Okay, there are so many startups who've got funding, who want to grow bigger, and when a company has to grow bigger, it needs really good people, right? And that's one of the problems that everyone faces today.
Correct.
So what we thought was to create that human resource for all these startups, right? So what we've done is to design this program which will help all these students to gain those skills that's required to join these companies, right? Today, if there is like a student who has scored 100 out of 100 and there is someone who has scored 60 but has a lot of other skills and is multi-talented, company looks at this person who has got 60 only.
Right.
No one would want score.
I mean, I've been doing a lot of interviews. When I asked somebody, I was like, okay, how can you speak? How can you make decisions?
Yes.
How can you negotiate? And how are you really good at sales? These are the skills I really want. I'm really not bothered about
Exactly.
what's the numbers in their marks cards.
So the trend is changing.
Yes.
But if you look at the mindset of our students, it's mostly towards go attend the class and you write the exam and you're done. But that's not it.
Correct.
Right? What is that out of the class, out of the book that you need to learn in order to be that best person who is picked out?
Okay.
Because there's so many opportunities.
So you're focusing on
skills that's required in terms of, both in terms of technical and the soft skills, right? There's a lot of research that they should have done or have experience of finding information, working on a project. In fact, most of the startups say they need someone who has practical hands-on experience, right? It shouldn't be like they've just studied and they've come. No, have you built anything? Have you done something on yourself? Even if it's group, it doesn't matter. But is there anything that you have done, contributed, right? So that's something that people are looking at. The universities, right? When you go for higher studies, they look at the same things. Other things have you done? Because everyone wants the best. And so these are something that we're creating awareness about and training students. And this is mostly for university students, right? Graduate quickly and they want to do jobs or even do their higher studies and all of it.
So there is education, there is Girls in Space program, and there is soft skills training, and there is also career opportunities that you're building.
Yes.
So for someone who is watching this video, if they want to get an access to this,
Right.
so how do they get that?
So we have in fact made most of the things available online. Everything is there. We were recording most of the things and kept it. But say someone who is interested in space and they want to pursue it further, they don't know how to take it forward, they can reach out to us, right?
Okay.
That's one thing that they can do. Someone who already knows and want to study more, we have courses for them.
Okay, nice.
So they can take up our courses and be part of it. Someone who wants to do internship, that's one way they could be with us to understand what happens in the real world. Right, so that's another opportunity that we give, and to be with us, even if they want to contribute back while they are studying itself. Those are the opportunities that we have. So it's also that individual career guidance that we give, which becomes very important, because everyone would have different interest.
Correct.
Space is not just one thing. It has several different domains. Someone comes and says, I want to become a space lawyer. Someone who comes in
Space lawyer,
exactly. So we all have stuck with, okay, become an engineer or scientist, done. No, there's so many new things that are coming up. In fact, that is the future.
Absolutely. I mean, there is scope in every single field, and this is such a fascinating field that, especially these generation kids, they love new things and they don't want to be something everybody are, they want to do something out of the box.
Exactly. One of the student who, like we were just talking, one of the student comes and says, I want to do farming on moon. Right? So if you look at it, I mean,
no, this love was not sarcasm. This love was how amazing kids can think.
Exactly.
I was only thinking about what ice cream I'm going to buy and where I'm going to eat, which color dress I'm going to wear.
That's exactly. So these kids are thinking out of the box, and which is very important for the future, right? The way human nature has been humans, right? If you look at it from long back, humans never ever can't be stuck to one place. If you always want to move out. And that's how we've come out of forests and all of it.
Right.
Now, if you look at it, what is the future for humans? It is the space, like you go outside the earth. And if you want to go outside the earth and there's nothing out there, you need to create all those things. And that's why we need students to work on it now. Think about it. Start working. Another 50 years it would take us to reach there, be there, live there.
That's fascinating to hear. Okay, so someone who has no idea, okay, no offense, not everybody is good at everything. So for me, space education or the field of space is very new. So today I want to be that little kid to ask certain things to you. So Nikita, what's exactly space? Someone who doesn't even know what this is. What's space?
Well, space starts with, where we are in this universe. And that's why I said in the very beginning, each one of us related to space. If we can't imagine this, how are we all living? It's because of this universe. It's because of this space where we are, say, these galaxies that are there, the way our solar system was born, or the way even our Earth was formed. It took millions and billions of years to become what it is today for the Earth. Otherwise, it was not livable long back. So all these comes as space. And to an extent, we were just observing the night sky. That's how it started with space, right? What people used to do was to observe, look at the night sky, the stars, the constellations, and we were using it in our day-to-day activities back then. Say, for example, you want to go from one place to another place. This is the time when there was no map or compass or nothing. We use a night sky, look at the stars and find out which direction we are going in. Look at the constellations to find out which month we are in. When is the right time to grow the crop? Right? That's again, which was very, very important back then. Say there's one particular constellation which comes every year. People know it. Okay, this is the time we have to do the farming because it's summer and the crops will be there. And then there's another constellation that comes in the night sky, which means, oh, it's going to be rainy season. We should not grow because we're going to go into loss. This is how space was used back then. To an extent, when we started looking at this night sky through telescope, it changed the way we looked into the space, because all we were doing was to observe, and now we started finding the reasons behind it. Today we know how is this universe formed, right? And today we know how are we formed. Why is that there are so many other planets and there is no one like us on those planets? We are so special. Again, this is something which makes me so curious about space, is because we are the only species who have come so far. Right? Now thinking of going outside. Right? To an extent, today, we are back to the same time, using space technology in our day-to-day life. That time it was space, now technology is added. Right? From morning, you want to know what is the weather. We use space technology. You want to know which route you have to take. Navigation is based on space technology. Today, we are all very safe in our countries because a lot of satellites are looking at our Earth and maintaining the borders and all of it. In fact, today farmers know which crop they can grow at a particular area. It's because of space technology again. That if you tell I have land in this area, it can tell you which crop you have to grow so that you get more yield.
Wow, nice.
So like this, there are so many things, including we are all talking to each other every now and then. We watch TV shows, which is like live programs. Your ATM banking that you do. Imagine the satellite which is supposed to give you all this stops working. You can't withdraw money. Okay?
Right.
So that's how
this
it happens.
Everywhere. The technology is used in every single space that we are in, but we actually don't know this is the technology.
Exactly. So that's how it is impacting our life.
While you're speaking, I think the career opportunity is so massive.
Of course, there's a lot. In fact, when I again was studying and asking everyone, what are the opportunities that are there? People are like, there's no much opportunities, there are no jobs and all of it. But then what I understood so far is there's always an opportunity. You have to go and create it.
Absolutely. I totally ouch on this.
No one comes and gives you, tells you that, okay, there is this go. No, you have to go. You have to explore. You have to say that this is what we have to do. This is what I want to do.
Right. So this brings me to a very curious question. As a mother, I ask this question as a curious mother. Okay, if in case my daughter gets that interest to learn about space, when is the right time to start?
There is no age limit at all. Anyone can learn about space at any time. We have a structured curriculum and program starting from grade 1, in fact.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's literally from grade 1, anyone comes and we have like step-by-step
Are
process.
these like practical and theory, or what is it?
It's a combination of both, right? We focus on something called learn, build and launch methodology.
Okay.
So for doing anything, you have to learn. So that's the theory part of it. Then comes the hands-on experience that anyone must get. Say for example, if it's a rocket, you can read about rocket everywhere.
Correct.
You can design your own rocket now. You can build your own rocket. And to understand how this rocket works, you go and test it out. Right?
That's
From early age itself, you can build. In fact, there are a lot of children who's like, 3-4 years who come to office with their parents telling, my kid is interested about space, how do we go take it forward? Because there's so much of content that's available, right?
Correct.
And all they know is the facts. One thing that we are providing is the reasons behind it.
Okay.
Today everyone knows that these are the so many planets, this is the planet. Now you ask them why only so much, you'll not find that data, you'll not find that information, and that's where we are the experts in, right? We give them the reasons. Today students can't move out of a topic if they don't dig in a lot.
Correct.
You know it. They don't leave it on the surface. I'm like, why?
Yeah, why? Correct. So if my daughter, who is 6 years old now, finds it fascinating and wants to start learning about it right now, so where does she really begin?
We have a lot of our weekend programs. In fact, every Sunday there are a lot of children who come to our office, like be with the people who are like them, right? So that's where they share and learn. And we also have set of
topics. Is it accessible for everybody?
Everyone, yes, yes. Everyone can like come in. Every Sunday we have it. So that's one way that she can begin with and understand what is the different things that are there. And she finds something very interesting and she wants to know more. Then we develop a small course, say 5 hours of session or something like that, where that student goes step by step, process of learning that particular topic.
Nice.
And then while she's learning, she gets explored to some other topic. And then, so we are there to help her to understand and all of it. So these, one more thing which we do with students is, if they come with one intention, we tell them, look at the other topics that are there as well, right? And we have seen this mostly happening. They come with one topic and then they end up picking up another topic.
Okay,
right?
that's interesting.
Because they find this new topic to be very interesting or curious. Every child.
So how can they reach out to you? This SSERD is a non-profit, but who can get an access to it?
Everyone, students from schools to university level, we have. We have Genex Space as well, where we are running all these structured programs and courses and all of it. So they can just reach out to us. We are there on all social media. We have a website, so anyone can reach out to us.
Okay.
And we would do this individual talking to students in front of parent to understand. Sometimes we also see that parents are interested and not the child. and I ask the children, what is that? Like, okay, now I will understand, okay, where this has come from, but we leave them the curiosity so that they go back with that exploration mind.
Perfect. So all of you who are watching it, to get more information about SSERD, how you can reach out to Nikita, all the details are in the description. Get in touch with them. So we spoke about where it can begin, and now please tell me, what are the educational qualification that is required to get into this space, and what are the career opportunities?
Like, one of the old notion that we all have is you do engineering and then go on to become scientists. These were the only options that people had back then, and people only think that is there right now. But I've met so many people, right, and they're doing amazing things in different domains. So to begin with, I think study-wise, if you're interested in technical part of space, you should do science, okay, like say BSc, something like that, even BTech or engineering. So this is the technical part.
Okay, a degree, a science background.
BSc, BTech, MSc, MTech, even go on to get PhD and all of it. So this is something that they can do if they want to be into the technical part.
Okay.
So how is this satellite built? Or what is this planet made up of? So next thing is, if they want to be in the space domain itself, but not as a technical person, then there's amazing number of opportunities. To begin with, like I told you long back, space law. Anyone who wants to study law and is interested in space, you finish your law and then study about space and contribute towards space law. Same thing we have.
What's space law?
Space law means there are set of rules that we all follow today, right? Say on the road. They have put down such rules that you have to follow this.
Correct.
These are the same set of rules we needed for space as well. And these are formed by the space lawyers. And every day we have some or the other things where we need these policies and where we need these strict regulations. Otherwise, it would be a disaster. Just like if you don't have road rules, what would happen? Everyone would go hit in each other and disasters, right? Same thing like that. So we need, every company today needs a space lawyer in order to maintain all those policies.
What's
and
the numbers of space lawyers in India? Any
Very
data?
good question. When I'm doing research, all I found is like 4 to 5 of them.
Are you serious?
In entire India.
Okay.
Yes. Then there is space medicine, right? Like we are all thinking of going to different planet or different, say, moon itself, or we are now already in space. Our body doesn't behave the way it behaves,
here on
here.
Earth. Yeah.
And anything happens to you there, the treatment has to change. That's something called space medicine, for which we need a person who's a proper doctor in certain things. You are an expert with heart, but you should also know the effect of space on heart. And then you're a space doctor.
Amazing. Okay.
Right? That's another huge opportunity that is there and coming up. Space
It's very
architecture.
futuristic.
Very futuristic. That's what I said. Like one of the girls said, I want to do space farming. Right? That's very futuristic, because if you go live on moon, we don't have any trees or plants and anywhere like you can grow the food and stuff. And if you think of staying there for longer time, you have to eventually find ways to grow the crops out there. Because we can't carry that much amount of food from here on Earth. In fact, even for the astronauts who go to space food is one of the big domain that is coming up, okay? Because like there are a lot of other country astronauts who go, they're fine with bread and jam and all of it. Do you think Indians would like it?
Oh no.
We want biryani, we want palau, we want idli, dosa. In fact, there's one organization here in Bangalore which is focusing on coming up with space food for Indians. Something which
looks
easy.
very out of the box to hear itself.
So that's one thing. Space architecture, building houses on these moon and Mars. It can't be a house or a building like what we have here on Earth. It has to be different. Coming up with companies, starting your own companies. Entrepreneurship is another major domain that anyone can explore.
Space entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Okay.
There's so many people who have started companies and working on it and giving opportunities to many, right? That is one major thing of running a company. Right? People would think, okay, I can only work in ISRO. But then no, today there's so many opportunities. You have startup where you can go and work. There are a lot of institutions, research institutions where you can go and work. Why don't you start your own startup? Possible.
Makes sense.
And the government is supporting, right? That's one thing. Space art and entertainment is becoming another major domain. Going to space as a tourist is becoming one major thing.
Space tourism, yes.
So every rich person want to get an experience of
how space looks.
Yeah,
wow.
So people are going. There are companies which are taking people to space. That's another thing which is coming up.
That's really good to know. I mean, there's so much opportunity out there, and I think the future is not too far. I mean, probably another 5 years or 10 years, you will see a huge change, and there will be a lot of space that is just like how you are creating SSERD. I think your students, and you may be even going global now. That's the plan you have. So that's really, really nice, Nikita. So just to come back a little bit and talk about who you are, where you come from, what are your roots. So tell me, where were you born?
I was born and raised completely in Bangalore. You know, the fact that if you're a proper Bangalorean, you wouldn't have seen Bangalore itself. That was me. Okay. And so I did my school.
Which school did you study?
I studied in Newton Public School, and then I did my 11th and 12th PUC in Christ Junior College here.
Okay.
While studying itself, I got to know that my childhood dream of becoming a pilot would not be possible because of my height.
Okay, because of your height.
Yeah, and also for the financial reason, it costs 60 lakhs or something for the
pilot training.
I would have asked my parents. Oh no, my mother is a teacher, my father is a tailor. I don't think they would have
agreed or been able to.
Of course, they would have agreed. They would have done everything, I could say. But I wouldn't have
that willingness to burden the parents.
Yes. So the next closest option that I had was to study about aeroplanes. So that's when I was exploring engineering, and I found aeronautical engineering is possible, aerospace engineering is possible. And I went on to write the CET exam, got the rankings, and got into a very good university. It's called Alliance University. I did my aerospace engineering there. So again, for the aerospace engineering, so I've been a part-time tutor. Okay, that is something that I've been doing from my 10th. Something that I wanted.
I think you
to
were
do.
very good in your academics.
Yes, that's something. This is from my school time. I have explored that if you are doing several things, you know how to manage the time, and you can do everything, and you can give best in everything.
Correct.
Right? That's something that I've explored.
I've seen a lot of people complaining, I don't have a background, I don't have a supportive parents, we can't afford this. If you really, really want to do it, there's always a way out there. You just have to figure it out. 10 things don't work, but there's 11th thing which is waiting for you, saying that, okay, this is, you didn't come till here to try it, right?
In between, I got this opportunity to study in France. It's a 3 months program at International Space University. I got scholarship even for that. If I wouldn't have got, I wouldn't have gone. And I did crowdfunding again. So I did all that.
That's a very interesting thing. You are one among those people who got Kalpana Chawla Scholarship, right? That's very interesting.
So this is given for one of the Indian women to study there, and this is given by the late Kalpana Chawla friends and family.
Oh, wow.
For one of the Indian women to study there.
Amazing. And that's a huge sum. That's not even small amount.
A lot. Say around 15 lakhs just for 3 months of program. It was a lot. And I had the best experience ever out there, meeting people, learning from the experts themselves. And one of the things that I learned there was space business and management.
Brilliant. Isn't that super inspiring? Parents, a very simple, humble background, mom a teacher, father a tailor, and again goes on to explore the next dimension to the studies in France, ISU, with a scholarship that is one of the most prominent scholarships in the country, Kalpana Chawla Scholarship, and then comes back with a lot of ideas of becoming an entrepreneur. Today is being able to associate with one of the brilliant organizations like ISRO and doing a lot more, creating Nikita. It's really mind-blowing to listen to such stories, and women like you are real celebrities. I'm so proud of you, and when we sit here and talk, we know the journey. So I mean it's quite an emotional statement, I know, because it's not as easy as what we talk in this 45 minutes, but this journey has taken a lot. Now tell me a little bit about what this has got you back.
For me personally, if you ask me, what I've got is not listening to people, I could say, because I told you I wanted to do aerospace engineering and nautical engineering, and I was telling out loud to everyone. And in fact, I have an experience of one of the teacher telling me, do you even know the spelling of aeronautics? And I'm like, okay, how does it even make sense?
Now I'm going to write a curriculum for CBSE.
So I have had such, a lot of such experiences where people said no, and coming so far, I really feel come very far. There's a lot of things to do. Another thing that space has taught, that we're all just one family. Because these astronauts are there, right? Like, for example, I'll just tell you an example. We are here in Bangalore, and when I go outside the Bangalore and say you call me, I would say, Spoorthi, I'm not in Bangalore. Now, for example, I'm not in Karnataka itself. I would not say that I'm not in Bangalore. I will say I'm not in Karnataka. Right? Now, when you say you're in a different country, you would go on to say the country name. No more you would say the place. You try recollecting. If you must have had that experience. You would pick up the call and say, I'm not in India. I'm in some other country. Now, I asked this question to an astronaut when you're in space. And if you get a call, what would you say? I'm not on Earth. Right? So when you go away and away and away, we all get together. We all become that one family. And for me, that is something which has helped me, the way you look at the people. Right?
How fascinating.
We're all just that one family who belongs to this one Earth. Right?
How amazingly explained. Beautiful, beautiful, Nikita. So Nikita, I'm very curious to know some of your milestones that can inspire all those little girls watching this video. Tell us, one, you got Kalpana Chawla Scholarship.
Yeah, I think another one I could say is getting the Youth Icon Award itself from KWA. Because when people read out my bio, it's there in my bio, okay? And everyone will like, she's a youth icon. So I'm very thankful for KWA, in fact, for giving me that award. It has taken me, or the way people look at me has changed in one way, I could say. So that's one of the major milestones. And our space education project was mentioned under United Nations Space Office, so it's called UNUSA. United Nations focus, one of the segment focuses on space. That's UNUSA, and they wrote about our story. So again, that's one of the major milestones that I could say I've achieved so far. Writing, as I said, getting to work with ISRO, it has again, I myself have placed in a different height. That's all I could say.
Yes.
Right? It's very different for us to, look at ourselves growing up, and that's something which I could say. And traveling to different countries and representing.
We have traveled, I think, 9 different countries only to train on space and only to learn about space.
Everything for space. That's another best thing has happened. And to 9 countries. And now exploring to different countries where space is not at all something that they are learning there. So that's another thing.
You also recently visited Oman for a space program.
I did not visit Oman, but Oman ministry itself was here in India.
Okay.
And they invited all the space related startups and people working on space domain. And we were one of the ones who were invited, and they were like so interested about our project, everything that we've been doing, because this is a country, and there are so many such countries who want to become a space nation. And to become a space nation, you need the people in that nation to think about space, to think innovatively and to contribute towards space, to learn about it. And that's where they thought we would be the right fit. And so we're exploring collaboration with the Oman government, like directly how we are working with ISRO here. So these are a few things I could say.
Which are the other few countries which...
Australia is something, again, who is interested in taking our support. And UAE is something that we want to explore. Singapore is again... Those are the
Brilliant. Okay. So Nikita, this brings me to the last few questions. So to do so much, to travel and to be so invested in a space like space,
yes,
it takes a lot of courage and definitely takes a lot of commitment, determination and all of that. In all of this, what role has your family played?
The supporting is really which has helped me, and specifically my grandfather. Okay, I grew up with my grandparents, and even today, right, my grandfather makes sure he asks me how the company is going every alternate day. None of them in my family would ask. It's not that my grandfather comes from that entrepreneurial background, but he knows what we are doing. And he sometimes says, Nikki, tumba talagi kedskonta idre bitbidu beda. Another ಬೇರೆದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ನಿಂಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. At the same time, he is the same person who says that ತಾತ ಇದು ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ಇಕ್ಕಿ ನೋಡು ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಲ್ಲ. And he said me that once, trust me, I've experienced that in every cases, that you put that one step forward and it has happened. That taking that first step is something which is very difficult for so many of them. My grandfather has taught. And in fact, I told you our practical education that I wanted to give, it is again inspired by my grandfather. Today you ask my grandfather, not ask, but anything that happens in home, he is the person who fixes things. He don't need anyone, right? And if you look at today, anything happens, you call people. And what I want to do is to develop that set of generation who would be ready to fix the problems that they are into. And that has something which I've got from my grandfather and trying to implement in our education system itself. We are mostly focusing on problem solving, right? Like there's a problem, how would you think, how would you solve? And you solve it, you don't need an expert to come and solve. That's something which we are focusing on.
when it comes to your business partner, who is also
life
your
partner.
life partner? Is it a good idea to have a life partner who is a business partner?
Good question. In fact, when we decided we will marry, there are so many people who kept on saying ki if you both are in the same profession, it might not work out. I think people had experience and all of it. But till today, we have had no problem. For us, it's mostly the work. You go to office, you work, you come back home, you think of work.
Is it work even during your lunch and dinners?
I'm telling you, even in our sleeps and dreams, it's only about
It's
the
about
work.
space. You start seeing space.
It's only about the work that we are.
But is
now.
it really good that way?
It is not good. That's what I have realized in last 1 year. Though for this February, we would be like 3 years, and I felt like, okay, we are focusing too much on work. What is that we can do? And I know that I have to take certain steps which I'm unable to take. So I think if I take those steps, I should be able to have balanced life.
What role has Sujay played in your personal growth?
I told you I was someone who had not seen Bangalore at all being in Bangalore. He is someone who let me think of going out, learning, exploring. And when I wanted to do my higher studies as well, my mother was like, no, you go anywhere, come back home at 6. So it started with outside India, where Sujay tried to convince my mother that she should go and study this. So much she could learn and come back and contribute. It's so many opportunities. And it all became from outside India to she's like, no, just go study anywhere in the next states, so that whenever I want to see, I can come back and see and come back. To an extent, last it became go anywhere, do anything but be in Bangalore. And as I said, not seeing anything in Bangalore, to go into different countries and just for space, I think it is only made possible because of Sujay. So he's always been that person. And even today, if I'm going through some problem within the company, right, I say this is it, and he comes and like, okay, do this, and it's over.
Okay.
Solved.
So you have a brilliant mind together.
Yes.
Talent and brilliance and entrepreneurship skills. And what are the numbers you've been able to generate with Genex?
Last financial year, that's 2023 itself, we had crossed 1 crore. And this financial year, we've reached almost November. So I'm guessing the number is around
Going
30.
high.
So hoping for bigger numbers in the coming days.
Yes, there's a lot of space. I think you believed in it and that's why you've been able to come here. And I think there's a lot of requirement for funding for such organizations.
Yes, it's one of the biggest challenges you have brought out. Okay, I said I take part in a lot of space related conferences. Everyone speaks how important it is, the space education, and fact that it is important and all of it. The moment I say that, see, this is something that I've been doing. Now tell me what support you want to give. There's no answer. That's something which makes me feel bad for the fact that there are a lot of edtechs, especially the big ones who have not made good name or good revenue. We are not getting that support that's required from investors. In fact, they're like, hey, education, what is there? They're like, I was surprised. Recently, I was part of this, one of the conference by NASSCOM, and I'm like pitching and everyone listens and stays quiet. And I asked the organizer, and they're like, there's no one here who's looking for an edtech. I'm like, so that's the say,
there's a vacuum there.
Yeah, I could say something that we need to work on, or a supporting ecosystem is needed. If anything big has to happen.
Is government coming in hands of help?
Well, government says they would support space startup unless if it's not a technology, like, I mean, if it's a technology, they're there to support. Like, I am focusing on education. And they think it's not important. And they are the one who say, again, education, grassroots level education is needed. And that's what we are doing. But then when we speak and then they say, okay, fine. And then that's it.
I hope this video reaches a lot of people and you really get some really good investment and funding, right? Because today nothing can happen without money, and nothing can be run or reached out to more people without money. And see it. I think there's a lot of money out there. There's nothing like money is not there. There's so much money out there. And a lot of money are getting invested in wrong places and wrong people. And people like you definitely deserve good funding and investment. And I really, really wish that happens to you, Nikita. And probably in 1 year when we speak again, you give me big numbers, and not just in terms of your revenue or your turnover, but big numbers in terms of the reach and value that you have added to these kids and all these aspiring, aspiring students who want to make a career in this space. I really, really wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
So finally, Nikita, what's your message to all those women who come from humble background like us without anybody's support, who say that we are the only pillars? There's a beautiful word that says, the reason for my success is myself. My success depends on me and not anything else. So what's your message to all those aspiring women who want to build something extraordinary for themselves?
I think I would just say what my grandfather said, because there's so many constraints that you are around and you think of a lot of things. All you need to think of is why you wanted to do and take that one step. And when you turn back, you would have seen so many steps ahead that you would have come. So don't listen to anyone who would say it's not possible by you. It's possible. All you need to do is you put effort, make sure you give your 100% and make it happen. And then the same people will come and say, how did you do it? So
by listening to you, Nikita, it brings me to a gratitude message for C. Krishna Chetty Group of Jewelers, because when you see a podcast, when there is an interview happening, you will see a celebrity sitting there. You will see a billionaire sitting there. You would see somebody who's done, who's got big funding and otherwise a shark or somebody else. But in this podcast and in this interview series, I wanted to bring the real life stories where not just the 1% resonate, but the 99% of them still resonate. That I don't have background. I don't have anybody to back me up. I come from a humble background, but I still can do something. That's the message. And when I was wondering, how can I make this possible, because all this is again an expensive affair, I could not stop myself but to think about C. Krishna Chetty. To be very honest, I'm really, really, really grateful for their support unconditionally ever since I had a mad dreams of doing something like KWA Awards, which is non-commercial, non-paid, no PR fees or no nomination fees, where awards are sold left, right and center. And when I approached C. Krishna Chetty Group of Jewelers, they were like, let's do it. They trusted me. Until today, they stand with me as one of the biggest pillar of strength, and they've given me an opportunity to interview people like you and bring your stories out there. So thank you, C. Krishna Chetty Group of Jewelers. Thank you, Vinod sir. Thank you, Triveni ma'am. Thanks to the entire team. And we get to wear this lovely jewelry.
It's amazing. I feel like I should get this now. I was thinking of it a few months back that I should get one. It's really...
they feel that women are real, they need to be celebrated, and what better way than wearing these beautiful jewelry. So thank you, CKC. We're always grateful to you for bringing these stories to the world out there. So that's Real Celebrity Podcast episode with Nikita. So to get in touch with Nikita, there is, I have mentioned all the details in the description. Please do get in touch with them. Do make sure that you take your child once to the center and see how curious they are, and you can even explore if your child is really interested in this. I'm definitely going to, get my daughter to visit SSERD very soon and see if she really likes it and wants to take it up. Thank you so much, Nikita, for your time. And I had a great conversation. I was a little kid sitting here. I was like, oh my God, space lawyer. Oh my God, space food. Okay, this was very fascinating for me. So thank you so much. I really wish that, somewhere this video also reaches the right people and you also get some really good funding that is required to take this to a next level. All the very best, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Spoorthi, and thank you, CKC, for supporting Spoorthi in order to come out or bring out these stories to people.
Thanks a lot, Nikita. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Real Celebrity Podcast powered by C. Krishna Chetty Group of Jewelers. I'm going to see you very soon with a brand new episode with another real celebrity. Stay tuned.